Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest two-way propaganda. Control freaks say the darndest things. In trying to promote one of those gun turn-in events, this empty-headed Columbus, Ohio bureaucrat said she understands they aren't getting all the guns committing crimes off the streets.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Now, you could just say it's just a slip of the tongue, and I'm sure if you asked her point blank whether guns can commit crimes, she would understand that they cannot, but it illuminates this belief control freaks seem to share that guns are some sort of mystical totem enchanted by dark magic.
Yeah.
That they themselves are filled with evil. Subconsciously, they view guns not as neutral, inanimate tools to be used for good or evil, but agents of evil in and of themselves. If you start out by understanding the visceral fear they feel for guns, then their attempts to oppress make more sense. But hey, she was trying to get the word out about a new gun turn-in event that they're tentatively scheduling for September 14th. This one should be an absolute banger because they gave out up to $750 per gun in the last event, and they only went through about half of the $200,000 or so that they had. So they've got over $100,000 to give out this time around. And at $750 per gun, you could totally just go buy new guns to turn in and still make some money. Yes, they're gift cards, but remember, you can buy gift cards with gift cards. Now, 3D squirted guns would of course be much more lucrative, and you've got plenty of time to get prepared. Now, don't get me wrong, if someone has a gun in their home and they don't want it, yeah, they should probably get rid of it. That's why I want someone to start a Guns for the Poor charity that takes guns from turn-in events like this and gives them to needy families. What do you folks think? But it would be impossible for us to produce quality two-way propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory. Anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice, and going binary won't trigger the Fed boys.
Franklin Armory, those freedom facilitators who brought you twice the fuse with their binary firing system, because it's a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes in them are half as dangerous. So in the unfortunate event you should ever need your firearm for defense, remember, it's math. It can't be wrong.
And by Vortex, we've been running their new Defender line of red dots hard since before launch. They found a home on all of our guns, whether for concealment or competition or anything in between. They're rugged, they are packed with features, and they flat out perform. With the CCW, the ST, and the XL, there is a dot for you. And let's not forget their no questions asked VIP warranty, which covers just about anything. And by Hydra. The Mark 15 Hydra is the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, a bolt, and a magazine well. Well, friends, it sounds like somebody finally sat down with Kamala Ding Dong and told her she has to run for president and she has to actually try to win. Going hard on gun control right out of the gate is just weird, and it alienates lots of normal people who might have voted for her simply because she's not Trump. Her campaign has now quietly walked back some of the more hardline gun control rhetoric that she was spouting during her previous aborted attempt at a run for president.
I can change. I know I've been a dirty little bastard.
They claim she no longer supports mass confiscation of so-called assault weapons, and now she only wants to ban future sales. You and I both know she doesn't really have any principled position on this issue at all because she's a career politician, but you can bet she will sign any gun control that crosses her desk if she gets elected.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
The ATF are usually the dudes doing the confiscating, but David Codrea of AmmoLand is about to confiscate a machine gun from the Fed boys. Now, I use big giant air quotes because it really isn't a machine gun. It's an Akins accelerator. Long before slide fire shook up the gun industry with their bump stock, Bill Akins introduced a stock for the 1022 which allowed the rifle to move in the stock under recoil. A spring pushed the rifle forward, and a ledge, just like the one on a bump stock, allowed the shooter to hold his finger firmly so that the spring pushed the trigger into the finger. The feds claimed that spring made the stock a machine gun, so Mr. Codrea had the spring removed. A few years later, former President Trump ordered the ATF to declare bump stocks to be machine guns, and they did as they were told. So Mr. Kodria turned in his stock to the ATF and fired up the lawsuit printer. In the fullness of time, the Cargill suit won against the feds, mooting Kodria's own lawsuit, and now the feds have to give his machine gun back to him. Friends, are y'all tired of winning yet? Yeah, I didn't think so. As discouraging as it can be to watch politicians tread all over the Constitution, it is equally inspiring to watch their hard work get crushed time after time in the courts, and it's my distinct pleasure to report 4 such victories to you today. U.S. District Court Judge Peter Sheridan found New Jersey's assault weapon ban to be unconstitutional, but he very clearly didn't want to rule in this direction. Sheridan, an appointee of George W., criticized the Supreme Court's Bruin decision, but ultimately was forced to rule against the state because this case had already been remanded by the Supremes back down to him because his court got it wrong the last time. When the Supremes grant, vacate, and remand, that's a pretty clear message that you folks got it wrong and you better get it right this time. So he made the narrowest possible ruling he could get away with, finding only the ban against Colt ARs to be unconstitutional since only the Colt rifle was mentioned in the suit, and he upheld the state's ban on normal capacity magazines. Of course, Attorney General Matt Platkin vowed to appeal and regurgitated the typical nonsense about how the AR is the weapon of choice for mass shooters. It's not, actually. Handguns are. The overwhelming majority of mass shootings are gang and drug related. The shooters are usually prohibited possessors, and of course they prefer handguns because they can conceal them. But that's entirely irrelevant to the question of constitutional rights. The ridiculous lawsuit against Daniel Defense has been dismissed on the grounds that the suit is a blatant violation of the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. The suit attempted to make the claim that marketing from Daniel Defense influenced a shooter to do some bad pews, but they offered literally zero evidence of any causal link, and Daniel Defense did nothing illegal. And Pennsylvania lost its law banning open carry without a permit during a state of emergency, as well as the one banning carry in a vehicle without a permit. U.S. District Judge Christopher Connor, also a W appointee, made that ruling. And finally, a 3-judge panel of the 8th Circuit ruled that Minnesota must issue carry permits to anyone over the age of 18 who qualifies. Friends, the courts have consistently been ruling that 18, 19, and 20-year-olds cannot be denied their right to bear arms. We have seen several cases with similar results recently. That also means the NRA's case against Florida for infringing on the rights of 18 to 20-year-olds to buy a rifle has a good chance of being successful as well. Yeah, you heard me right. The NRA is actually out there fighting for gun rights. Who knew? Of course, Florida is not in the 8th District, so the Minnesota ruling isn't binding, but that case was decided after Rahimi, and it's similar. The bottom line is the plain text of the Second Amendment covers the conduct, and there is no historical analog. It's just that simple. By all rights, they should be successful. But to get that ball to the end of the field, they'll need to feed and water their herd of lawyers. Dare I suggest you donate to the NRA? Hey, I'm sure there's lots of other things you could do with that money, but if you choose to give it to the NRA, would that make you a bad person? What do you folks think? At this point in time, would you think less of a person for donating to the NRA? And now, for your moment of zen.
Everybody get down! Give me all the money! It's got the pockets! Give me all the money! Get down! Where's the money? Give me the money! Where's the money? Everybody give me everything! Where's the money?
Hey friends, do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure uncut American pew-paganda at the low, low price of free fee? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you. Doing the news talker.